All right, my number 10. In July of 2012, I've talked about this many times, and it was a trip. It was a 2-week vacation with my then girlfriend and her grandparents to Disney World, Universal Studios / Islands of Adventure, and as well as a special trip for me to Legoland. Okay, I just gotta be honest with this. Although the relationship did not end well, and it was for a variety of different reasons, and although I was incredibly disrespectful on this trip during my social media heyday, where I would just type up random stuff to get clickbait. It was just bad. I've ranted enough about social media, but it would not be good for my soul if I just discredited this trip, because it was really, really special, and it came at a very, very tough time in my life. So, yeah, July 2012, her grandparents took us down to Disney for a very long and much needed trip. There was some stuff going on with wrestling at the time. I was working a crappy job, and some other stuff going on as well. But we went down, and it was wonderful to just be spoiled. I really felt spoiled on this trip. I didn't have to pay for much of anything. Food was covered. But there were some, my social media, I was so upset. It was not even a good reason to be upset, but I went down to Disney, and it was weird for me to go down to Disney and be with people who didn't ride rides. So stupid me felt the need to post about it. It was incredibly disrespectful. If they ever come across this video, either of her grandparents or even my ex, I sincerely apologize for my rudeness on this trip. But it was wonderful. It was such a good time, and I really, truly needed it. The fact that we did a day in Legoland because I was obsessed with Legos. All right, I really was. I just started collecting Legos at the time. A very expensive hobby at a time when I really didn't have much money and probably shouldn't have been spending any money on Legos. We did. We went there, and it was nice. We stayed at the Art of Animation in Disney World. One of their resorts, which is really cool. It was brand new at the time. And we stayed at a condo for another week, and it was just it was an incredible time and life-changing. And I remember, I was sad that I had to miss the 4th of July party because I was gone over 4th of July week, but it was a good time. Again, just because the relationship ended bad doesn't mean that memory is tainted. All right, it was a great time. And again, I apologize for how disrespectful I was. Stupid social media crap. I really do appreciate it, even if I didn't show it at the time. Number 9. All right, number 9. I talked about this one last week in the historical time periods episode of a vacation that me and my family, as well as my Uncle Angelo, who I believe was single at the time, took to Washington, D.C. And we did Washington, D.C., Virginia. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but if you've seen it last week, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't see the historical time periods episode, I understand. It was very, very long. But this was a gateway into a love of history, going to see all the fine stuff in Washington, the different monuments, memorials, Ford's Theater, and then eventually going to see Mount Vernon in Virginia, the home of George and Martha Washington. Was wonderful for me. I didn't appreciate it at the time as much as I would now. Okay, I am fiending to go back to Washington, D.C. I am. I really want to, now that I've read so many books and spent long nights on Wikipedia reading historical stuff. I want to go back, and my desire to go back is very strong. So my Washington, D.C. trip with my family and Uncle Angelo from 1998. I believe I was in the 2nd grade when this occurred. Take me back. Take me back. Number 8. This one was a really fun one. We went with one vacation of mine and ended up turning into a second, a surprise second half. So in September of 2019, my family we were going to go to Hershey Park, and we did a nice short drive. Really cool. I mean, fun location, first and foremost. Just big fella here. I'm not going to stand up and show all the bigness, but I like chocolate. All right, big Reese's guy, and just chocolate in general. It was really cool to be at this park, this low-key, simple, like non-crazy park. Tons of people, good people. I was never frustrated or stressed out at any point in time, but it was so nice to be down there, and be a part of this. It really was. And we were heading back, and my wife, she really, girlfriend at the time, wait, no, oh shit, we were married. She really wanted to she really wanted to go see Gettysburg because it was relatively close. I think we had to go back like an hour and a half or something like that. And my parents were like, you know what? Let's do that. We were driving in separate cars, so me and my wife could have very easily just done it on our own. But we all decided to take a trip to Gettysburg, and it was the best impromptu vacation I have ever taken. History buff. Just talked about it last Friday. And going to see Gettysburg, the battlefields, the beautiful, beautiful museum that they have there. I am so grateful for that, that U-turn, essentially, that just going to go somewhere where you've always wanted to go see but didn't really think would happen, and it's just bam, just there it is. And just couple extra hours on the trip. Really, really grateful for it. So there's that. So yes, Hershey Park / Gettysburg in September of 2019. Number 7, 2022. I was working my tail off, picking up tons of overtime. This is the year where I really got myself on a good financial path, beat up that credit card debt, and got back on track, started putting money away. And I wanted to reward myself for this endeavor and go see stuff and things. I was on my kick of going to Indianapolis every single year, but I wanted to go to football games, and I wanted to go sit up close, okay? So the bad part of this is that I spent a lot of money to go see the Colts and the Chargers play in December of 2022. It was the day after Christmas. I'll get into that whole thing in a moment. But I paid for this game and pretty early on. All right, the Colts were looking maybe to take a step up, and the Chargers were a really good team and probably battling for a playoff spot. One of the teams were battling for a playoff spot. The other one was battling for a draft pick and ended up losing. But I paid a lot of money. Me and my brother paid a lot of money to go to Indianapolis for it ended up being like 4 days. It was a wild trip. So a big snowstorm came through, and over Christmas weekend, we left Christmas night to head to Indianapolis, and the weather was bad. Like a whole county, there was a travel ban. We had to go around the county and drive. It took us 6 hours to go to a place that's like an hour and a half away. All right, and then it was just a wild, wild trip. And then we got there. We stayed at this beautiful hotel. There was an old train station, and just spent a wonderful week in Indianapolis. Yeah, the Colts lost. That stunk, but it was a fun time. It was fun to be a part of it. It was fun for me to watch my brother sit front row behind all these great Chargers players and see his team clinch a playoff berth. It wasn't the first time in his lifetime that he was seeing it, but to be there in person and see it live and just be 50 feet away from, Justin Herbert or, oh man, I'm forgetting the defensive player out of Khalil Mack. He used to play for UB, but seeing that. And then I had spent so much money on front row tickets. I got ticket credits, so we got to go to a Pacers game for free and had a great time. And I got to see the Pacers win and beat the Atlanta Hawks. We ate food. We traveled the mall. We walked the streets. of Indianapolis, and we even got we went to the Colts store the last day that we were there, and the guy opened the door so I can go see the stadium empty, like nobody in it, and I got to take this, just sit there and be at peace, not knowing if I'd ever be able to go back or not. This is way before I knew my kid was coming along or whatnot, but the team stunk, and it's really hard to want to shell out money to go watch a team play 9 hours away from 9 hours away from home. But not only that, I like this Indy trip. We came back home, and then me and my dad and uncle went to New York because I had pre-bought tickets for that to go watch the Colts and Giants play. And we sat front row, and it was just a great time bonding with them. I always loved to travel with my dad for football games. I love taking my uncle to places like this, and there's another football trip to Indy that I didn't mention on here, but I was so excited to take him to Indianapolis for the first time. Like it was really special. So yes, December 2022 was my second to last trip to Indianapolis. Great time, great brother, just two brothers, the Indy part, and me, my dad, and my uncle watching football in the second half of it. So really nice time. Number six. I will never forget driving up to New York City for the very first time. This was March of 2017, and it was me and my family, immediate family, and my Uncle Angelo, my Aunt Maria, my cousin Gabriella, and cousin Juliana, and my cousin Gabriella's then boyfriend, who was actually a very good friend of mine, and whatnot. We went to New York City. It was the first time I'd ever been to New York City, and I'll never forget seeing the skyline when you're pulling up. You're on the thruway, probably a good 30, 45 minutes away, traffic wise, maybe a little bit less than that. But just seeing the skyline, it's just like whoa. It was amazing. We spent a long weekend there, walking around Manhattan, seeing everything that needed to be seen, walking the streets. It was so breathtaking and amazing. Going to stand on top of Rockefeller Center and seeing the skyline from up there, seeing the Statue of Liberty, going to the Natural History Museum. And I'm walking through the streets of New York City with these wonderful people, and I'm just like blown away. I'm like, oh, wow, there's that place from like a Marvel show. Oh, this is where Iron Fist got into a fight in this episode of Iron Fist on Netflix. And then we're on one of the bridges. They were eating at this place called Serendipity, which has something to do with a movie. Forgive my ignorance. But I'm like, oh shoot, that's the spot where Spider-Man fought Green Goblin in the 2002 Spider-Man movie. Like I got so excited to see all that stuff, and it was a great time. I don't get to travel with those cousins really at all. Like we don't really do that much, so it was really nice to go on vacation with a different group of family, if that makes sense. And I had a blast, great time, very inspirational. Wild, ate a lot of good food, and there's a lot of stuff that I wish I could do over for the first time, and this is seeing New York City is definitely one of them, because it can be very, very inspiring. It's an amazing place. It smells like crap, but it is an amazing place. Number 5. All right, this is my second Indianapolis trip that I'm going to mention here, and I took so many amazing ones. Like the last one that I took in 2023, I went with a fantastic group of people, but going to see Indianapolis for the first time. I've talked about this a lot. I apologize to those who have been watching my videos and have heard me talk about it a lot. But when you dream of going somewhere for 10 years and then you finally get to that spot, it is so satisfying. Like I remember I could have cried. That's how happy I was to be in Indianapolis. When you're rooting for a team that's 8-9 hours away, and you finally, you've been spending all your life cheering for this Colts team and getting harassed and bullied by Bills fans and so many other fans, and then you finally go and you're with your people. It was an amazing feeling, and it was tough because it was this weekend that it worked out, but unfortunately it was on my mom's birthday. But as my mom is wonderful, and she goes, go see this. You don't know when you're gonna get to do it again. And we go. So me, my friend Mark, my cousin Nick, and my dad. My dad filled in. I couldn't really. Nobody else not filled in. I think he was gonna go regardless. But I had trouble finding people who wanted to go. And he went, and we had this amazing time, seeing Lucas Oil Stadium for the first time, the Peyton Manning statue out front. We got to eat at Primanti Bros, which was a Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. I think it's a Pittsburgh delicacy, but they had one in Indianapolis at the time, and it was delicious. It was great. Went to the Colts game after. I still remember it pretty clearly. It was the Colts and Titans, and I believe the Colts won 38-10, but this was Andrew Luck's last season, getting to see him just throw all over the Titans. And then the next day, I took my first of 2 Lucas Oil Stadium tours and got to be on the field, and it was surreal. It was really, really cool. And I got to introduce them to the Melt, my dad and my buddy Mark, to the Melt, which was really neat. It was amazing. I love the city of Indianapolis. It's like, I don't know. I just feel at home, and I yearn for the days that I can go back to it and experience it again, because there's so much to do. So that is my number 5. Number 4, the second of 3 Disney World trips. All right, this one is the first one, which shout out to my mom. She brought out the old 1997 photo book from our Disney trip. And this is really cool stuff here. Here, hold on one second. I'm going to show you a little close up. We got like these first visit badges. Or maybe they're magnets. I don't know. They've been in the book since 1997. But she hooked me up with seeing this. I always loved looking through this. And it brought back so many memories. This is pre my little brother. This is before him, so it was just me, my sister, my dad, and my mom. This is to my recollection, our first vacation together as a family. There might have been some small stuff. Oh, you know what? We had gone to Canada's Wonderland. There was times Canada's Wonderland, but this was our first going away vacation. And it was significant, and I still have very fond memories of it. I still remember the Cinderella's castle decked out in candy. Because it was I believe it was the 25th anniversary of Walt Disney World. They were celebrating an anniversary. I remember I got my first Woody doll there from Toy Story. This was around the time that Toy Story had come out. And again, when you see a place for the first time, you can't forget it. Everything's amazing. We're staying at this resort. We stayed at All-Star Music for the first one, and you're seeing these giant statues of Disney characters all around the resort, this cool pool, and you're trying all this awesome food, and it's overwhelming, especially me. At the time, I was 5 years old, about to turn 6, and there's so much magic. I mean, pun intended, they preach magic kingdom, magic this, magic that. But there's a lot of magic when you've never experienced something before, and especially at that age. And yeah, man, I love it. I cannot wait to take my own son to Disney World. When that time comes, just to see his face light up. He loves Mickey and Minnie and Pluto and Goofy and Donald and all these characters. But just fond memories. I just remember so much, and I remember being in a van and driving down in our old family van, going down there. It was just special stuff. So our first Disney trip, March or April of 1997. I think it was kind of March and April. Number 3. This one is, I've been on a lot of cruises, but this one is special to me. It is my honeymoon cruise with my wife in January, early February actually, it would have been early February of 2019. Okay. Uh, I like going on vacation with my wife. More often than not, we go on vacation with other people, and there's distractions and whatnot. People run off with different folks, and there's times I tend to end up on my own, and I'm not trying to like complain or anything, but I do I want to spend time with my wife, and she's entertaining, friends, family, and whatnot. And I understand that she's on vacation with those folks, so I would go and hide. But our honeymoon cruise was special because this was the first vacation that I had ever taken where not my parents, not her parents. It was just us two making decisions and enjoying each other's company, and it was special. It was special. I love it. I wish that we could do more of that as a family unit, just kind of doing our own thing. But it was a week of hijinks and fun. Like, it was the best vacation I've ever taken with her, I think. Well, I have one with her that's ranked, but as far as like cruises and stuff, like, it was just so nice to just be us. There was a little snafu with timing. Like, we trying to get on the bus from the hotel to the cruise ship, and we almost missed that. But when we got there, we ate like kings and queens, and it was just so nice to just spend quality time together. And I really enjoyed it. It was great. We're going from 30-degree Buffalo weather to 70, 80-degree Niagara Falls or Miami weather. I remember going down in jeans and a flannel and in a jacket and just sweating my ass off down there. Which was it was fun. But cruise ships, we went to Belize, Cozumel, a couple other places, but it was probably my favorite group of stops. It was just, I don't know. It was just special and nice because it was just the two of us, and yeah, I think we're at our best when it's just the two of us. I really do, and obviously now that we have a third party in our son, I look forward to the opportunities for the three of us to go on vacation with ourselves. So there it is, number 3. Number 2 is Outer Banks, the vacation that I almost didn't go on. I don't know, there was something was bugging me. I don't remember what it was, but I'm sure it was stupid. But I didn't want to go on this vacation. But I am glad that I chose to. This was the big family vacation that a lot of people dream of. All right, everybody, cousins, aunts, uncles, my nona Elda, in my immediate family, significant other. It was we went to the Outer Banks in 2016. And it was so cool. We rented out a house. Everybody chipped in. We all hung out together. We had a nice in-ground pool where we spent time every night. We hung out on the beach. We'd watch the sunrise, watch the sunset. We go to different events, and we went on a dolphin excursion. We all played Pokemon Go together. I remember we went on this dolphin tour thing. Didn't see a damn dolphin, but I was catching Pokemon. I was all on this thing, and all my cousins started to jump in on it. It was fun. Just spending time with each other. We seen the beautiful Elizabethan gardens down there, which was lots of art and just a lot of beautiful plants. It was an early English colony down there in the Carolinas, I presume. But it was just nice for us to all be together, all the cousins. We grew up so close, and now we're still close, but not the way we used to be. And I don't mean that like a derogatory term, but our lives are all separate. We're all growing. We all have different lives and stuff going on. And this seemed like a milestone kind of vacation, and going with aunts and uncles, and also to one of my favorite buffets or places to eat of all time, Captain George's Seafood Buffet. I went to for the first time. Everybody wanted to go to this other place, and they were all miserable after the food stunk. We went to Captain George's and ate so good. I think it was like $35 a person. Worth it. Worth every bit. It was amazing seafood, high quality seafood. And then on the way back, it was me, Amy, my wife, then girlfriend, my cousin Nico, and cousin-in-law Kate. We were driving together, and on the way back, we had a whole mess because I finally got to take over in the car and driving, and one of the belts broke, and so our uncle and cousin had to drive back, and and uncle and aunt and cousins, they drove back to help us fix the belt, and so we can get on our way. But it was scary. It broke off on the thruway, so we had to stop off at a pit stop. But it was a nice bonding moment. But it added like 3-4 hours onto our way back home, which was not pleasant. But that's my number 2. And number 1, Disney World. It was the 2-week vacation that we took. 100 Years of Magic. That was what it was. That was the billing, all right, of this vacation. So 2002, we were doing really good. My family doing really good financially, and said, hey, we're going to go to Disney World for 2 weeks. Orlando for 2 weeks. We'd seen Disney World. We'd seen SeaWorld. We'd seen Universal. I think we did Universal and Island of Adventure. I'd have to double check on that. But we went in the year 2000, and my brother was 9 months old, which is wild to think about back then. But this is our first family vacation where he's conscious, he's aware, and I'm pretty sure he barked like a dog here because I think my dad put one of those kid leashes on, and in the middle of Main Street, USA, and Magic Kingdom, he just got on all fours and started barking like a dog. I'm pretty sure it was this year or maybe 2004. Neither. I wouldn't be surprised if either. But yeah, let me see if I can get a nice family photo up there. Not that I like to put images of people who aren't doing this, aren't actively on this show, but I do love my family very much, and I hope that they don't mind. Hey, yeah, we went on Easter. Look at us. Look at us. Whoop. Some fun stuff there. See, I talked about my mom. And all the pictures that she took, and I'm very grateful for that. I could show so much stuff. But yeah, 2 weeks in Disney World. And I think this is actually the trip too where that Reader's Digest, the American Storybook that I showed off in the historical time periods list, I think I got it on this trip as well. But yeah, it's my favorite vacation of all time. It was finally the 5 of us. The family was complete. My brother, young and aware. We're all a little bit older. I think I was in 5th grade at the time. Yeah, I would have been graduating elementary school that year, and just being together. And to me, those are the best vacations to me. Again, I was very, very fortunate to go to Disney World many, many times over. Go to Orlando many, many times over. But this one was special. And 2 weeks is a long time to be away on vacation. It certainly can be. As a kid, you're just delighted to be away from it. But 2 weeks seems long now. I don't know what I'd be able to do with myself. I'd probably be a little bit antsy to return to normalcy. That's how conditioned I am to my normal life, I guess. But as a kid, to be away from school for 2 weeks it was special, and I loved it. Again, seriously, my favorite vacation of all time, hands down. No brainer. And again, the magic is still there of enjoying Disney World for what it is. So there it is, everybody. My top 10 vacations.